Good morning. It's day 2. You can see my lovely tidy tent. Slept all night with the outer door open on the tent. It was just so still and so quiet last night. It was absolutely beautiful. Kept waking up every 2 or 3 hours. The moon was almost full, and it was really bright, shining down into the trees. It's about 7:30 now. I've just woken up again, so I must have had a good, at least I would say 10 hours last night, at the very least. So feeling pretty good. There was a tiny little bit of rain around 7 p.m, something like that. It was something and nothing really. It's looking like it's nice and clear today, and the cloud from yesterday is gone. So 7:30, I am gonna slowly make my way out of the tent. I did treat myself yesterday at the spar shop in town, and I bought myself a full-size tin of peach halves. And I think that might be my breakfast this morning. So I'm going to crack on with that. Hello again. So I've got everything packed up. Didn't take too long. Nice and dry as well. Not a drip of condensation on the tent, which is brilliant. Nice comfy ground as well. So all in all, it was a good night. I've just come a few steps back. I was only up there on the ridge. Just come a few steps back to this little lookout point. This is where I'll be having breakfast. Just over there in the distance, I don't know if you can make it out, you probably won't be able to, but there's a tiny little cave in the hillside. Apparently, I passed it last night. Apparently there's a complex of about 7 caves, I think it is, in there. And they've got some of the finest examples of some early Spanish cave art. It was quite interesting, but I think it was signed really wrongly, because the sign I saw said the trail was 300 metres to them, and it seemed more like 2 kilometres. But yeah, that's them anyway. If you do come on the trail, you can choose to come up past them. But look at the view that I've got this morning. It's like a mini Grand Canyon. It reminds me of Canyonlands in Utah. It's absolutely beautiful, and you can see on the horizon there, that is that rock I was saying about yesterday, and looking at it now, it's kind of crazy that I've come that much closer to it in such a short space of time. But this is, out of the trails I've done in the Canary Islands, this has been by far, so far, the most scenic and the most enjoyable. It's been the busiest as well. There's a lot of people on trail, English people, Germans, and not just day hikers, people doing the full thing. You can tell by the way they're loaded up with the packs. So the town I passed through yesterday where I got my Coke, on the map it said there was quite a few services there, like 3 or 4 restaurants, a couple of shops. Just a pre-warning, most of the restaurants were closed. Whether it's off-season or what, whether they've closed down, I don't know. One of the shops was closed permanently. There was a little spar shop, which was really well stocked, and it was just slightly off the trail. You could just see it from the trail poking out. Apart from that, there wasn't a great deal there. Like I said, apart from the views and the steep climb out. That was a hell of a steep climb out as well. Anyway, it's time for breakfast. It's come up a really, really steep and short climb. The good news is for today that I looked at the elevation plot last night, and the lion's share of the climbing is done on the first day. You kind of get up to a certain height, and then from there you kind of just up and down a little bit towards until the end of the hike, where you descend back down again. So there should only be some smallish ups and downs today, hopefully. But it's just been a really nice little hike through this, across the edge of this hill, basically. Loads of birdies around. There was a woodpecker above me at camp this morning, literally in the tree right above me. There was 2 owls last night, not making a lot of noise. One early-ish on, and one this morning, kind of early-ish on as well. Just a few twit-twoos. Did just come along one section just back there. Well, I mean, this is better, but you know, you've got a good few hundred feet down there, and that's where my feet are. The one I've just passed around the corner, there wasn't even as big a gap as that to the edge, and it was probably about 1,000 feet down, I would say. It was one of those. I mean, I'm not all that good with heights, and when I look down at something like that, it does kind of make me go a little bit funny. So I have a quick look and then pretend it's not there. But you can see these views. It's just the scenery is just beautiful. It's so rugged, and you kind of think, what would it be like to live in one of these little white houses dotted on the hillside in these towns? And I guess it seems quite a romantic idea, but it's probably one of those things where the reality would soon set in. You don't have the facilities that you're used to in sort of like a decent sized town or village. The roads, all you can hear all the time is like horns blaring, because the roads are so narrow and twisty and turny. Everyone's blaring the horns when they get to a corner, so it'd take you ages to get anywhere, I bet, as well. Maybe not for me. Nice to visit, maybe not to live, I don't know. So I'm not sure what the plan is for today. I'm supposed to be finishing on Friday and then getting a bus to an airport near the hotel, nearer to the hotel. The kind of town where I finish, and where the hike finishes, is Maspalomas on the south coast. And from what I can see when I've been looking at hotels that were available there, it's kind of a big, just like a big resort village. The only hotels that were available there were about £200 a night, and I didn't like the look of them, and I probably wouldn't have paid that anyway, to be honest. So I think if I keep going like I did yesterday, though, there's a good chance of me finishing on Thursday. So that's going to present the problem of where to stay on Thursday night. Whether I find somewhere to put the tent, I don't know. Whether, depending what time I finish, if I get a hotel somewhere and just chill out for the last day, which at the moment does seem like a good idea. I was sorely tempted to do that yesterday when I wasn't feeling very well. I don't know, I think that was a combination of factors, probably the heat, a bit of dehydration. The tuna I had at lunchtime, I don't think that was all that agreeable with me. I'm not a big eater of seafood, so probably the exertion as well of all the climbing, even though it was only about a 20-24 kilometre day, it was mainly all climbing. So yeah, hard day yesterday, physically and mentally at times. That's when it pays to have somebody with you to hike. The sort of mental boost you get from having someone there to talk to is a massive bonus. Just see what's over this little ridge, shall we? The other side of the island, and lots more white houses. So on the contrast to the GR132 I did on La Gomera, that was around the edge of the island, so most of the time you had a really good view of the ocean and some good seascapes. This one obviously cuts across to the centre of the island, and then from the centre you just pretty much straight line it south to Maspalomas. So it's going to be nice to see the ocean again when I get down there. But the trail's just forked. I'm 99% certain I'm going the right way, but I'm just going to go and check the mapping. Before you ask, yes, that is Black Sheep by Metric, and no, I'm not turning it off. This section of trail here, I've just come past that beautiful little viewpoint, and for the next, I guess, kilometre or so, I'm headed towards a town called Cruz de something. But it looks like I'm going to be kind of straddling the edge of this crater, and that is just superb. It doesn't get much better than that. It's breathtaking. And I've just seen two people pull up in a little rental car and jump out, take a pee behind the viewing platform, and then take a couple of pictures, jump back in the car. And I think it's just so much more satisfying knowing that you've got here under your own leg power. You kind of feel you deserve to see the view a bit more. And like, fair enough, they've got the picture from the viewpoint, but just walking like 50 metres round here, it's different altogether. And it's, I don't think I'd get sick of seeing this view actually. It's absolutely stunning, especially on a day like today. And this trail's nice as well, nice and wide. You haven't got the hugely scary drop-offs. There are some drop-offs, but I'm sure you'd only break a limb or something going down there. Yeah, so really enjoying this morning so far. I do have to apologise for the music. I watched Scott Pilgrim just before I left. Hadn't seen it for ages and I forgot all about this song. And it's just stuck in my head now, so that's the reason for it. I had it on once yesterday and it really helped me along. So does look to be some bike tracks on here as well. I think they're a little bit too thick to be mountain bike tracks, most of them. Probably motorbike, but there's definitely a lot of mountain bike tracks that I've seen, and the trails are really good as well. A lot of fantastic downhill sections. But just look at this. It just keeps changing every few metres you walk. I'm sorry I can't get enough of it. You're probably sick of it, so I'll switch off for a bit. Hello. So I just passed through the tiny little town called Cruz de Tejeda, something similar to that. Sleepy little place, not a great deal there. Kind of one big hotel that looked to be quite expensive took up most of the village. There was a couple of little cafes. I think there was a restaurant. I didn't see a shop or anything like that. I didn't have a full walk around, but it was only a small place. I kind of followed a road on the way around and now you get this vista, just a different side to the one we were seeing earlier. I'm just past an information board at the bottom of this little hill. Apparently it's the most famous skyline in Gran Canaria, and And this kind of central piece we're looking at was where the volcano was that formed most of the island. All the peaks have different names. If you can see the three in front there, that flattish shaped one on the edge there is the Frog, and then to the left of it, the one that's been sticking up and annoying me for a long time, that is Rock Nublo, and then the one just to the left, which I've just been able to make out this morning, it's only a small one and it does look incredibly like a priest, but that is called the Friar. I can't remember any of the others, there was too many, but it's certainly a beautiful view. I've just passed right underneath me, don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, I don't think we can from here, but there was just down there basically, it's kind of like a long house cut into the hillside, and it's just looking out straight onto all this. Be a fantastic spot to wake up in. Anyway, everything's going all right so far this morning, touch wood, donk donk. I've got about 3 litres of water with me. I am a little concerned as to where the next water is going to be, so I have to keep an eye on that situation. Everything else, legs, shoulders, feet, all feeling good. So yeah, all going well. There's been a large helicopter buzzing around this morning as well. I'm not sure if it's been military or not, but looked like a big personnel transport buzzing around all these peaks, unless it's a sightseeing one, I don't know. I imagine it'd be quite a cool island to go a helicopter ride sightseeing. The temperature so far isn't uncomfortable. The cool breeze is gone that was keeping me cool yesterday. At the moment I'm kind of in and out of shaded areas, which is very welcome, but I'm guessing it's maybe 10 o'clock-ish, something like that. I have to remember that I started at just before 11 yesterday, so obviously started a lot earlier this morning. Just take things into account. It'd be nice to come across a little village, a little cafe, sit down, have a proper sit down and a proper kind of lunch, or whatever time of day it is, a little meal. I remember last time getting some beautiful fresh pasta and vegetables. It was a very welcome meal. That was in La Gomera, I believe. So, like I said, there was one little cafe that I passed in the last village, but the guy was just to say sort of like pulling the rollers back, and he didn't look as though he wanted any trade at the moment. So the trail recently it's been quite good, but the way marking is just starting to fall off a little bit, because he's switching between these different trails like the S90, the S60 and all this. It's just getting lost a little bit at times, and I've just been having to check and make sure. Saying that, you do occasionally come across on the rocks these markers, these flags or the blocks. That was what you followed on the GR132. That was fantastically well waymarked, apart from in towns where you were left to fend for yourself. But yeah, it's not too bad. It could be a lot worse, put it that way. It could be under 8 feet of snow, all the markers could be covered, and you could be fighting your way through pine forest like in the Sierra Nevada, so I'm glad it's not like that. I'm kind of wondering now, if we get up close to the Rock Nublo, it'd be nice to get onto that plateau up there if that's possible. A cool view from up there, but we shall see where the day takes us. Enjoying it so far. Been a couple of short and extremely steep inclines this morning, but for the most part it's been pretty good walking, either on a dirt trail like this. There's been some kind of paved trails, a tiny little bit of road walking. So yeah, all in all, very good first few hours today. so I could just kind of feel myself starting to overheat again. Very conscious of how I felt yesterday, so I found myself a nice little spot in the shade here, nice little stone to sit on, and just thought I'd stop and take in a bit more liquid, switch some water around, have a snack, and just basically chill out for 5 or 10 minutes. Just looking at where I've been, you can see, sorry, my glasses are steaming up, see in the distance there that little village nestled kind of in the centre of the shot now. That's Atanara, where I was yesterday afternoon, and you climb up onto the top of the ridge there, follow the ridge all the way along and kind of come round. So you do cover some distance. There is a lot of climbing involved, I'm not going to lie. Some of it is extremely steep, so you just need to know your limits, just pace yourself. Oh, and see the guy on base? That's Todd. So as you can see, there's some more cloud coming in again. I guess it must be, there's an observatory on the top there, just starting to get shrouded in. It must be a thing kind of like lunchtime-ish. So, from where I last stopped, where I was having my break, I've done a little bit of road walking in different sections, dirt tracks, tarmac road, path at the side of the tarmac road. It's not been too bad, it's been quite nice, it's been scenic, past a big outdoors activity centre. And then I've just come off trail, 0.2 of a kilometre to this viewpoint, Ventana de Nublo. Obviously you can see Nublo on the horizon there. Ventana, I'm going to guess, is window, because just here in this big rock there is like an archway inside. There's a ton of people in there at the moment, so I'm not going to wander up there. But yeah, there's an archway that forms a window onto this vista. It's quite cool. The scenery has become a lot more volcanic in the last hour or so. You can tell the rocks have changed. Even the vegetation's changed. So yeah, it's another nice viewpoint, considering like yesterday afternoon and this morning I was round the other side of this huge rock. The mind does boggle as to how far you can travel on foot when you put your mind to it. So I've got a couple of pictures. I'm going to carry on. According to the mapping, there's a spring or something part way down this trail. I can't see any sign of towns in the next few kilometres at least, so we'll see what it brings. I've still got a good 2 litres of water at least, so I'm good for a while. Hey, so I left the viewpoint, where I filmed last time, the window, Nublo, and pretty much been gently descending most of the way through this kind of rocky landscape. There's little caves dotted around everywhere, all this sort of lava formed. It's quite otherworldly as usual with the lava landscapes, but I've been following this like cobbled path for a little while now, and it's just dropping and dropping and dropping, and when you look, it is just snaking all the way down the hillside. The amount of work that's gone into creating this, it's absolutely bonkers. It's a popular trail as well. I've passed a load of people going up there. There was like a tour group, I think of about 20, by the sounds of it, Germans, all varying ages. There's been ever so many sort of groups of 2 or 3 heading up there, but I certainly wouldn't like to be tackling this going up. It's absolutely monstrous. And the thing that gets me is I have a feeling that if I'm dropping down all the way to that road in the bottom, then I will no doubt be having to climb back out again at the other side. There's a few buildings down there. I don't know if it's a town as such or a village, if there's any shops. Could do with a shop really, a cafe at least, something. But yeah, like I say, the clouds come back in again. It's definitely cooled off, really cool. I did think about stopping and putting my windbreaker on, but there's been no need. It's been fine. I've not spotted this fountain yet that's marked on the map. Whether it's actually here or not, I don't know. But yeah, I just can't get over this path and how much work has gone into creating it. Not just the setting the stones themselves, but look at the walls at the sides. They've all had to be laid out, and I don't even know if they've been concreted or not, whether it's just all like dry stone, but still very much appreciated. I'm sure it gets a lot of use. Yeah, looks like we're going all the way down.